Alright, it is day number 3 of card reveals. Looks like we are finally getting some of that variety in our game, which I'm all about. And the first card is a 4-mana cat from YouTube. Did I just say from YouTube? Yeah, this is a 4-mana cat from YouTube, because YouTube's icon is also red. Bone High Tritail, Overwhelm. When I'm summoned, grab a +1/+1 for each different subtype other allies have. And it's a 3/2. You currently have, so you need to have a big board with subtypes to make this good. So at best, this gets +5/+5, which makes it a 4-mana 8/7, which is kind of insane. If you have only one, it's a 4/3 with Overwhelm. That's like a 3-mana stat line. So you need at least 2 other subtypes. Actually, what I said is incorrect. You have double subtypes now. You have like Bird Elites. You have... What else is there? Like Mecha Yordle, that kind of stuff. So technically, you could go over +5/+5. This is a cool card, but I feel like these type of cards are often pretty unplayable. Because first of all, why would you have a board with many different subtypes? Right now, subtypes don't synergize with each other, right? It's like, yeah, sure, I have a bird, I have a cat, I have a dog, but why do I have these cards? This is good if you're playing like Expedition. Right? Yeah, it's very comparable to Crowd Favorite, but Crowd Favorite is probably much easier to achieve. I would say Crowd Favorite is a lot easier to achieve, to actually grow big. It also had a deck, right, with the Jinx Draven deck that would just vomit units on the board. I don't see a reason to vomit subtypes on the board. So I think this is not very playable, but, you know, we see Nico in the Nidalee art. If there's any card that is going to do something with subtypes, it is going to be Nico. That's been theory crafted since like last month when we got the variety patch and we got all these new subtypes. So I'm sure there is a payoff for this somewhere, but right now there is very, very little reason to play different subtypes. If the card has Overwhelm, it is a good card. Overwhelm is a good keyword. If a card that gets big stat doesn't have Overwhelm or Elusive, it's usually like pretty unplayable. So this has potential, but a 3/2 Overwhelm for 4 mana and you need to have like a board with low synergy cards? I don't know. I don't see it. Pack Attack is a good call. Pack Attack could make this the payoff. Ivern, yeah. Ivern would be perfect in a set. Rengar, Ivern, Nidalee, all those bush champions. I think this is weak. It's too conditional. Like, Pack Attack is conditional because you need to play a slow spell, then it needs to go off, then you need to get the attack through, and then it's just an ephemeral, right? Plus, you need to actually have a board of subtypes. I don't see it. I don't see it. Pack Attack is kind of interesting, though, actually, because if this gets summoned with 4 subtypes, it becomes a 7/6, and then if you play Pack Attack, it gets that +4/+4 again. And then you have a really big finisher out of nowhere. But that's just, it's a lot of work to do, you know? Next up, 2 mana +1/0 equipment from Knox's Ravenborn Tome. When my bearer plays a skill, copy it. Oh, that is a really cool card. Dude, on Gwen and Talia? Wait. Wait, this is nuts on Talia. Oh my god. If you play this on Talia, you just get 6 rocks? That's ridiculous. How does this work with Leona? If you have this equipped on a Leona and you play another Daybreak unit, do you get two stuns? If it works like this, I could low-key see this being a very good Daybreak card. We have seen a lot of Leona with Knoxes lately too. I mean, not so much in a recent month, but before that, all the time. Super cool card. Competitively, I would be surprised to see it as an option in a lot of decks, unless it's like a one-off maybe. But in decks like Talia, even on Annie, on something like Jhin, that's crazy. That's so fun. Yeah, Jhin loves this card. Even putting it on Jhin is kind of crazy too. The Captive Greyback, yeah, double 3 damage in front of it, and then the Overwhelm. It's awkward paying 2 mana for an equipment. So far, we've seen that equipment that doesn't give health is usually not very good. Unless it's specifically the Darken Harp. Because Darken Harp gives quick attack. So, you know, that still makes attacking really easy. Oh, Misfortune. Wow. This on Misfortune? Wait, could you imagine this on a level Twisted Fate? Level Twisted Fate with Ravenborn Tome? What? That's hilarious. Nice. Oh, I love this. Super cool card. Don't know how good it'll be competitively. I think a lot of these Control Noxus decks are like the only actual decks that play Annie and stuff. And those usually don't want to put something like this on their unit because they can't protect it. Yeah, that Annie Misfortune deck we played lately, like a few days ago. Insane in that deck. So much fun. Love this card. Love this card. Super cool. 5 mana Noxus Captain Calrix Overwhelm. And it's a 1/5. Alright. Nexus Strike, deal damage to the enemy Nexus equal to half its health rounded up. Deal damage to the enemy... Wait. Is that Ledros? Is that just Ledros? But you need to Nexus Strike with a 1/5. Oh my god. Okay, hold on. Deal damage to the enemy Nexus equal to half its health rounded up. Yeah. Okay, so... This is a super cool card. Yeah, okay. Noxus already has stuns, but not at fast speed. Could you imagine playing this with something like Ionia? Or Bandle City with Wallop? Actually, Noxus has the decisive maneuver, right? Wow. I think this card works best with stuns. Because there are stuns in Noxus. It might be really hard to buff this to a point where your opponent is actually going to let you smash with it. Because, you know, it is 5 mana, but that effect is insanely cool. I love that they're printing stuff like this, by the way. Oh, Hallowed, you're right. Or Alter. Alter, dude. Alter to Unity. This becomes a 5 mana 5/5. And if it hits, the game ends. With Hallowed or Alter, that's hilarious. Dude, Dimasha Noxus, you play Decisive Maneuver, you play Alter? Ah, that's a little bit greedy. That's a bit of a greedy deck, but that's really fun, dude. Oh my god. Does it do the attack damage plus half the Nexus damage, or only half the Nexus damage? I'm gonna assume that... Okay, let's say the opponent has a 20 health Nexus, and this deals Overwhelm for 2. I'm assuming the Nexus first goes to 18 from this hit, and then it takes the 9. Then it deals half of 18. Yeah, Sunborg's map, I could totally see that, yeah. With Piltover, for sure. What if we give it double attack? What if we give this double attack? Dude, I have to make a deck like that. Double attack Captain Calrix. That's so funny. Just double or half the Nexus health twice in a turn. Knox also has something a bit better, removal. Yeah, but only if something is damaged. Like, if you're a good player, you're not going to block Captain Calrix with something that's damaged. I guess Disintegrate or something, right? There are a lot of options to get this hit in. But I love how they made this a build around like that. It's like, here's an insanely powerful card with Overwhelm, but it only has 1 attack. Dude, you could make like that Turbo Rek'Sai deck, and then have this as like a 1/2. Oh no, wait, I was gonna say, and then you play Ripper's Bay, but that doesn't work. That's a Shurima Noxus deck. It would be hilarious playing this in a Lurk deck with Ripper's Bay. But that's probably a little bit optimistic. That's not gonna work. What a cool card, man. I love this. This is one of my favorite releases so far because there's so many options for deck building. Super cool. All right. Next up, 6 mana Bird from Dimasha. 5/5 tough. Oh my god, it's tough. I already hate this card. Crested Lionhawk. Play if an ally has a different subtype than me, manifest a Dimashian spell. But it's already Dimashian. This is a good card. Don't get me wrong. This is a good card. Again, okay, I'm going to assume that Nico works with subtypes. And if Nico works with subtypes, there is a chance this card sees play in a deck that doesn't do very many Dimashian things, and then suddenly you get access to Champion Strength, right? That there needs to be payoff for these subtypes. This card is... There's no point playing this in any Dimasha deck right now. 6 cost is a bit much, so yeah, it is. I mean, that doesn't really matter, right? A 6-mana 5/5 that creates a card, assuming you can fulfill this condition, is good. That's just good. That is a strong card. Dimasha also doesn't do this very well, right? Manifesting spells or cards. So that is a very relevant effect to have for Dimasha. But yeah, the question is just, why don't I just play that spell right now? You know? Seems really bad. I think this definitely has potential. I think it absolutely has potential. I just don't see a deck for it right now. But a 5-mana 5/5 tough that gives you a spell, a card, that's not bad. That is 100% not bad in a region like Dimasha. If you put this card in something other than Dimasha, yeah, they probably have better stuff to do. But again, Dimasha just doesn't generally have effects like this. And that makes it powerful. Any burst energy? Yeah, we have the Royal Shimmerwing. I don't see potential here. Okay, well, like I said, let's assume that Nico gets access to all subtypes, right? Nico lets you play any card with a subtype. Then suddenly you could be playing like Nico plus, I don't know, Battle City, and then you play this card, and suddenly you have like access to Champion Strength in a Swarm deck or something. And you don't need to go to Dimasha for that. That's very powerful. There needs to be, like, I'm almost convinced after seeing some of these cards that Nico is going to be something like you can play all subtypes. And in that case, this card becomes really, really scary. Because that means that non-Dimasha decks get access to Dimasha spells. And Dimasha has very good spells, believe it or not. They are very good at protecting their units, with cards like Form Up, with cards like Chain Vest even, and they have very good finishers with Relentless Pursuit and with Champion Strength. Not to mention just simple blowouts like Judgment. I love cards like this. You can say what you want about a card like Conch. Conch is a 2-mana 2/1 that gives you a cheap card, so you're always going to see that card. At this point, we know all the cheap cards that are in Battle City because at one point or another, you've taken them from Conch. With this card, it's going to be the same thing. We are going to see so many spells that we don't normally see because the situation actually calls for it. The actual cost of putting something in your deck is so high for some cards that you have to consider that cost. It's like, okay, I could play Judgment in this deck, but what if I draw it in a matchup where I can never use it? Or what if I have it and I never draw it when I actually need it? What if that card was just like a 1-drop and I could have established more early game control? With this card, you don't really have to think about that. And it's the same why everybody plays Conch. This with Condense, yeah, sure. Like a 1-mana 1/1 tough that gives you a card. I mean, 3 mana, I guess, because you have to play Condense. It's just good. It's not amazing because there is no deck for it right now. And if you're playing Dimasha, just play your good Dimasha spells. They don't have that many. But getting Dimasha spells outside Dimasha, always powerful. It's always good. Manipulate Attain and capture Ring. Yeah, see, exactly. That is possible. It's all about that, seeing spells that you don't normally see, and sometimes you get blown out by them. Capturing, barriers, Judgment, rallies, super, super, super good. It's just, yeah, main decking them sometimes feels bad. Because many decks don't care about like the square stats that Dimasha has to offer sometimes. Again, 6-mana 5/5, not amazing. Effect, incredible. Okay, yeah, Purify, right, exactly. 5-mana Elite from Dimasha, Scrutinizing Sergeant. Pick a unit from the top 5 cards of your deck that costs 3 or less. Summon it and place the rest into your deck. And it's a 3/3. Okay, this is busted. What? A 5-mana 3/3 that can pull a blocking Badger Bear. A 5-mana 3/3 that brings a 4/4 with it. Dude, Dimasha loves going wide. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but one of the strongest things that Dimasha does is play the 3-mana 3/3 for 0 mana. The Citria, the Vanguard. I don't know what it's called. That's good because you play your turn, and then suddenly you get more units for 0 mana. This is exactly that. You pay 5 mana and you get like another good unit. Yeah, this can pull champions. Pulling Misfortunate Scouts for free, yeah. Dude, you're right, actually. This with Alter is also pretty funny. It becomes a 5-mana 5/5. You cannot underestimate Dimasha and how well they use wide boards. Getting 2 units for 1 is really good. It's incredible for Dimasha. This is exactly what Dimasha decks want to do. And right now, they don't have cards like House Spider. They don't have cards like, well, what else is there actually? Like Marai Warden. Like portals, I guess. They don't really use that. This, just being able to play 1 unit, getting 2 units, it's pretty good, man. It's usually a 5-mana 2/3/3, which is, man, no, it's not. You're saying, okay, hold on. You think that paying 5 mana for 2/3/3s is bad? That cannot be, that, you must not be playing Runeterra if you think that. Because that effect is good in Piltover. And I mean, I know it's like, okay, Jace just wants to play that spell and get some units on the board to get to his level up. But in Dimasha, the deck that buffs their units and wins with wide boards, that is insane. It's 5 unit mana? Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter in Dimasha. 5 mana is still less than 6. Yeah, it's effectively a 6/6 for 5. Exactly. And then sometimes you high roll and you get a blocking Badger Bear. You could even pull a Sergeant and then you also get their spell. This is insane. Not having to top deck that card, pay the mana for it, play it, and just getting 2 for 1 from your deck, from cards that you put in your deck, is very good. You can miss, but if you're playing a Dimasha deck that has more than 6 spells, you're playing Dimasha wrong. At least, you know, the decks that are going to play this card. There's no shot you miss. Dude, look at Elite decks. They play like what? Like they play like 3 form up, 3 single combat, and 3 champion strength. You're never gonna miss unless you're like turbo unlucky. You also can't pull any units that are above 4. I mean, that's true, but there are so many like 1, 2, and 3 cost units in Dimasha. I mean, sure, you can miss, guys, you can, and then it's really bad, but top 5 cards in Dimasha, I don't know, man. That's not gonna happen very often. This prepares champion strength turn. Exactly, that is how you need to look at this. 2 units for the price of 1 is just really good. He can pull champs, yes. You have your 4 Dimasha, you have your champion strength. It's all just really good. Good card. Very good card. And this should be the last one. A 3-mana 3/3 from Dimasha, not a subtype this time. Mage Seeker Jr. Spells that cost less than 3 cost 3 instead. I love this card. You know what? What are these Tellstones? You know what this guy is doing? This guy just... Is this a stick in his hand? The aftermath of this image is this guy hitting Seraphine with this stick. He's like, screw you. Screw you, Seraphine. Suck it. Seraphine trying to copy spells? Nah. Nah, dude. Try again. Anti-Seraphine. Anti-Samira too. Yeah, Flare for 3 mana. That's this card is so funny. 3 mana Flare. Now, this card is probably pretty good, yeah. Oh, this anti-spell card, the ones they're printing, is so funny. Tournament card, it probably is. I don't know how happy you're gonna be playing this on ladder, but we also have to realize that spell decks have been way too strong for way too long. So I'm happy with any spell hate we get. An actual good Stony suppressor. There it is. There it is. Playable Stony. So, yeah, I think this card is... the reveals that we got today are all honestly pretty good. A lot of them are very heavy build around. Yeah, most of them are like extreme build arounds, actually. This is a build around. This is a build around. This is a build around. This one is not so much a build around. This one is a build around. This one, that's probably fine. You have to realize that Dimasha has a lot of very good 2-mana spells. So they will also cost 1 more mana, but I don't think you really mind that. You want to make like the Pie Toss cost 3. You want to make the stupid Conchologist just suffer. Good card. I'm expecting to see that this sees a lot of play. The only thing holding it down is that it's not an elite. If this was an elite, it'd be like the best card of all time. So there's probably a reason it's not an elite. But you're going to see this in a lot of Dimasha decks for sure. Yeah, anti-Tailstones. Yeah, a Tailstone costs 3, and they also need to play the spell. Dude, if this had an elite deck, it would be ridiculous. Could you imagine Battlesmith on 2, and then this, and he just becomes a 3-mana 4/4? Just doesn't die ever, and you have to overpay for your spells the entire game? Nah, dude. Wisteria when? I want Wisteria in this game so bad. I want her to be a Runeterra exclusive. Wisteria is freaking cool. I would love that. Ultimate Victor counter. Oh my god. I have to pay 3 mana for my Hex Core if this card exists. 3 mana coins, yeah. Super cool. I love that they're printing cards like this. Love it. Just some tech choices, right? I don't know if you ever put this as like a 3 of, but I'm gonna assume it's played in a very similar manner to Stony Suppressor. Just less polarizing, I want to say. Tri-Beam Synergy? Oh my god, wait. Tri-Beam Synergy. This turbos your Tri-Beam. I can't wait to pay 3 mana for my Draven Axe so that I can power up my Tri-Beam. Yeah, this card is 3 out of 3 stars. It's just that good. Alright, let's do a very quick rough rating. Okay, this card, I'm just going to be brutally honest, 1 star, because I don't see the payoff. This card will never see play. If you're playing a subtype soup deck, why? Why would you do that? What is the point of a subtype soup right now? There is simply no payoff. This could be payoff, but it's not good enough payoff. It's different subtype too. So if you're playing like a cat deck, and you're playing a bunch of cats, this doesn't even get like multiple +1/+1s. It's so bad. 1 star. Awful. Ravenborn Tome. This one is hard to rate. Very cool card, but on a competitive scale, I don't think it's going to be super good. I'm giving this 3 star because I think there is a lot of potential with Annie decks. Maybe like some Annie Gwen deck will come from this. If you can manage to find a way to make this work with Gwen, it'll be insane. Same with Talia. If you can find a way to make that work with these champions specifically, it'll be very good. Very, very good. But I don't see any decks like that existing right now. Captain Culrix. Okay. Whew, that's a hard one to rate, dude. I don't know about this. Will this create an actual deck that you build around? Is this the new way to play Burn, where instead of tossing spells at your opponent's Nexus, you just let Captain Culrix smash and half the Nexus HP is gone? Who needs Decimates where you can deal up to 10 damage with this? I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't think you want to put many buffs on this guy just to do half Nexus damage once, because then you still need to finish them off. And who's to say that's enough? Best case scenario for this card is having multiple Overwhelm units. You put this guy on the left, on the far left, and then you play your Overwhelm units next to him, and then you decisive maneuver the unit in front of Captain Culrix, and you're gonna have like an OTK. That is the dream with this card. If that works, you win. The game simply ends. But how often are you going to encounter situations like that? I think not very often. I'm giving it 2 stars. I think the build around is a little rough. Syncopation. I actually think that this deck, or this card, might be best with Ionia. Because you can recall, stun, Syncopation, whatever is in front of Captain Culrix, and just do the damage that way. And Ionia, not great at dealing direct damage to the Nexus, right? But they have cards that are good at it. So, maybe. Best with Hell, yeah, I think that's entirely possible. But on turn 5, it's going to get like +3 attack or something at most. And then, yeah. Oh, with Dragon Kick, this is hilarious. Captain Culrix Dragon Kick. Alright. Crested Lionhawk. 3.5 star for this one. And it has potential to be more. I'm giving it 3.5 because I'm assuming there is a way to play this outside of the Dimasha with the subtypes. And then it becomes very, very powerful if you suddenly have access to rallies in decks that normally don't have access to that. It could seriously become like a card that just blows out the game. 6 mana, 5/5 tough, also not the worst. It has a subtype that's probably relevant. We have seen burst synergies. So, a lot of potential. But right now, if you're playing this in the Dimasha deck, there isn't much point. But if another deck exists, then it suddenly becomes very, very valuable. And then we see the Scrutinizing Sergeant. This is a 4-star card. Possibly more. The ability to summon 2 units for the price of 1 in Dimasha is incredible. I think this is potentially a 5 out of 5, but there is a chance you miss, and I can't ignore that. It is a way to draw units in Dimasha, technically, which they don't usually do. It's a way to go wide for your champion strength board. Like, just imagine just building your board on turns 1, 2, 4, and 5. You skip turn 3, then you go into turn 6, you're 6 wide, and you play your champion strength. Done. Game over. And this card helped with that, because you get 2 cards. This is such a good top deck, too. It's insane. Really good card. 4 out of 5. And then we have the Maze Seeker Jr. Also 4 stars. This card is also 4 stars. I think this is much better than Stony Suppressor, because this card will be good in matchups that aren't just like Stony Suppressor countered. If you're playing Stony Suppressor, it's like this card is absolute dog water unless I'm playing against spell-heavy decks. This is a 3-mana 3/3. You don't actually mind attacking with this if your opponent isn't hindered by this. So it's like, if you have a Stony Suppressor, it's like, what are you going to do? Attack with your 1/3? No, that's trash. Like, why would you even play the card in the first place? A 2-mana 1/3 is just really, really bad. But this has 3 attack. So you can start attacking with this, and it will be good. It's a combat trick counter? Yeah, pretty much. But also just like for Seraphine decks, right? 4 out of 5, yes. You do have to protect it, but Dimasha doesn't really mind attacking with them. Like, if you put this in combat, you're already like pretty happy, because that means their combat tricks are going to be expensive until combat is over. And Dimasha is very good at winning combat. So, those are my ratings. 4 out of 5 for this one. And that is all the cards that we have received today. Here they all are. Only 6. I'm assuming tomorrow we will get cards that will hint at the next champion we're going to see. But for now, pretty good variety reveal. So, let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you want to see from all these cards. I personally hope to see some Targon cards. I'm very excited to see what my favorite region is up to in this expansion. I'm assuming they don't get their champion now, but maybe next time. And yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for the rest of the card reveals. Bye-bye, YouTube.